Have you ever felt your heart racing for no reason while sitting quietly on your favorite chair? Or maybe you've stood up too fast and the room spun a little too long. These may sound like minor things, but sometimes they're whispers from your heart, asking for help. Heart failure doesn't always show up with a dramatic heart attack or a rush to the ER. In fact, it often begins quietly, with small signs that are easy to overlook. And that's exactly what this video is about, spotting those early, silent clues before they turn into something serious. We're not talking about medical jargon or scary statistics today. Just you and me, having a calm, honest talk about what your body might be trying to tell you. Because when it comes to your heart, ignoring the little things could lead to big consequences. If you're ready to listen closely to what your heart might be saying, comment 1. If not, just hit 0. And don't forget to subscribe to Health 365. Now let's take a closer look at the very first sign that often flies under the radar. When your heart gets tired, it doesn't always cry out with pain. Sometimes it just speeds up, like a worker trying to make up for lost time. That's why a fast resting heart rate can be one of the very first signs of heart failure. Normally, when you're sitting or relaxing, your heart should beat calmly, around 60 to 100 times a minute. But when the heart is weak, it has to work harder to push blood through your body, even when you're doing nothing at all. That's when you might feel your heart pounding in your chest, fluttering, or racing without reason. Some folks describe it as a sudden thump-thump that catches them off guard, even while watching TV or reading. This isn't just a passing feeling. Over time, this extra effort wears the heart out even more. According to the American Heart Association, a consistently high resting heart rate has been linked to earlier onset of heart failure and higher risk of complications. If this sounds familiar, don't brush it off. Keep a simple log of your heart rate, especially when you're not active. You can use a basic wrist monitor, or many smartphones now have this feature. If you notice your resting rate is regularly above 100 beats per minute, bring it up with your doctor. It's a small act that could make a big difference. Let's move to the next early sign, something many folks confuse with aging or just being tired. Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you were there? Or struggled to follow a conversation or stay focused reading the paper? Many think it's just aging, but it could be your heart sending signals through your brain. When the heart pumps poorly, less oxygen-rich blood reaches the brain, which needs a steady supply to stay sharp. Without it, you may feel foggy, forgetful, or lose track of thoughts. It's not just absent-mindedness, it's a warning sign. Research in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology shows even early heart failure often brings cognitive decline. Everyday lapses, misplaced keys, losing focus, or feeling mentally off can reflect reduced brain blood flow. If this sounds familiar, track when it happens: after exertion, climbing stairs, or late in the day. Patterns help doctors see the link. This isn't to alarm you, but to catch issues early, when you can still protect both your memory and your heart. Now, let's look at another warning signal that often shows up in your legs by day's end. By the time evening rolls around, do you ever notice your socks leaving deep marks on your ankles? Or maybe your shoes feel tighter, even though they fit fine in the morning. That swelling in the feet, ankles, or lower legs is another early sign your heart might be struggling. When the heart can't pump well, blood backs up in the veins, pushing fluid into tissues. That's why swelling appears in both legs and worsens as the day goes on. It's more than just tired feet. It's a signal of poor circulation. Doctors call this peripheral edema, a common red flag for heart failure. The National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute notes that fluid buildup in the lower body often warns of strain on the heart. A simple home test: press your thumb on your shin. If a dent remains, mention it to your doctor. New or worsening swelling, especially with weight gain or shortness of breath, shouldn't be ignored. Your legs may be telling the story of what's happening in your chest. Listening early can help ease the burden on your heart. Next, let's look at a warning sign that can leave you dizzy or lightheaded. Do you often stand up and feel the world tilt for a few seconds? Or maybe you've had moments where you nearly fainted during simple activities. These dizzy spells are more than just getting older. They can be one of the body's ways of showing that the heart isn't delivering enough blood to the brain. When circulation is weak, even small movements, like rising from a chair or walking across the room, can cause a sudden drop in blood flow. That's why many people with early heart failure report dizziness, lightheadedness, or near blackouts. Research in the European Heart Journal confirms that reduced blood supply to the brain is strongly linked with these symptoms. It's not only uncomfortable, it can be dangerous. For older adults, fainting or losing balance raises the risk of serious falls. If this happens to you more than once, don't ignore it. Write down when it occurs and what you were doing. Does it come after standing up quickly? After light exercise? These details matter. The next time you feel dizzy, sit down right away, breathe slowly, and let your body recover. But most importantly, bring it up with your doctor. Paying attention to these signals can help protect both your heart and your safety. Now, let's talk about a sign that often keeps people up at night: having to run to the bathroom again and again. Do you find yourself waking up several times at night just to use the bathroom? It might feel like a normal part of aging, but frequent nighttime urination, what doctors call nocturia, can be an early clue that your heart is under stress. When you lie down, fluid stored in your legs shifts back into your bloodstream. The kidneys filter more, leading to repeated bathroom trips. Waking 3 or 4 times a night isn't just poor sleep. It often reflects fluid overload from early heart failure. The Cleveland Clinic notes this symptom can appear before others, and it's more than inconvenient. Broken sleep drains energy, weakens immunity, and strains the heart even further. If this happens often, track how many times you wake and whether your legs swell by evening. Simple steps like elevating your feet during the day may help reduce buildup. But if it's persistent, tell your doctor. It could be more than a small bladder. Your nights should be restful, not interrupted. Paying attention to this signal may give your heart the rest it needs. Now let's move to another warning. When your hands and feet feel unusually cold, even in warm weather. Have you noticed your hands or feet staying cold even when the room feels warm? This isn't always about the weather or poor circulation from aging. It can actually be a sign that your heart is working harder than it should. When the heart weakens, it has to make choices. The body directs blood to the brain and vital organs, leaving less for the arms, legs, and skin. That's why some people with early heart failure describe their fingers and toes as chilly, even numb at times. Sometimes the pulse in the wrist or ankle feels faint because blood isn't reaching there as strongly. A study in the American Journal of Cardiology reported that reduced peripheral blood flow is common in patients with early heart dysfunction. It's the body's way of protecting what's most important, but it leaves the outer parts of you feeling neglected. If this happens often, pay attention. Try gently warming your hands and feet, but also note whether they stay cold compared to others around you. That contrast is a clue worth sharing with your doctor. Cold hands and feet may seem small, but they can be early whispers of a bigger problem inside. Now, let's talk about something that shows up when you try to be active. Feeling short of breath even with light effort. Do you get winded just from climbing a few stairs or walking out to the mailbox? Shortness of breath with light activity is one of the most common early signs of heart failure. When the heart can't pump strongly, blood backs up into the lungs, making it harder for oxygen to move where it needs to go. That's why even small tasks can leave you feeling exhausted, like you just ran a mile. This isn't about being out of shape. Research from the Journal of the American Medical Association shows that breathlessness with mild exertion often appears years before a formal diagnosis of heart failure. Many people dismiss it, thinking they're just getting older or slowing down. But it's really the body sending an alarm. If this sounds familiar, pay attention to patterns. Do you notice it while carrying groceries, gardening, or simply talking while walking? Keeping track helps your doctor see the bigger picture. One helpful step is pacing yourself. Take breaks, move slowly, and don't push through heavy fatigue. But most importantly, don't ignore it. What feels like a small nuisance today could be a sign of your heart needing help. Next, we'll look at a warning that shows up when you lie down at night. The struggle to breathe comfortably without extra pillows. Have you ever tried lying flat in bed and suddenly felt like you couldn't catch your breath? Many people with early heart failure notice they need extra pillows just to sleep comfortably. Some even end up sleeping upright in a chair because it's the only way they can breathe without struggling. This isn't simple snoring or age. It's a condition called orthopnea. Here's what's happening. When you lie down, fluid in your body shifts upward and places more pressure on the lungs. A weaker heart can't handle that extra load, and the result is a heavy, suffocating feeling. Studies from the New England Journal of Medicine show that orthopnea is a strong predictor of heart failure progression, often appearing before other classic symptoms. You can test this yourself by noting how many pillows you use to sleep. If you consistently need 2 or 3, or find relief only when sitting up, that's a sign worth sharing with your doctor. Now, let's look at another signal that can sneak up quickly. Sudden weight gain that isn't from food at all, but from hidden fluid buildup. Have you ever stepped on the scale and noticed you've gained 2 or 3 pounds almost overnight, even though you didn't change your eating habits? Rapid weight gain like this is often caused not by food, but by fluid building up in the body. A classic early sign of heart failure. When the heart isn't pumping well, the kidneys hold on to salt and water, leading to fluid retention. This extra fluid doesn't just make the numbers on the scale rise. It can cause swelling in your belly, ankles, and even make breathing more difficult. According to the American Heart Association, a sudden gain of more than 2 to 3 pounds in a single day, or 5 pounds in a week, is a strong warning signal that your heart needs attention. That's why many doctors recommend weighing yourself at the same time every morning. It's one of the simplest tools to catch changes before they become dangerous. If your weight jumps suddenly, don't ignore it. Call your healthcare provider. Keeping a small journal of your daily weight can make all the difference. A few pounds may not seem like much, but when it comes to heart health, those pounds could be your body's way of shouting for help. Next, let's talk about a sign that often shows up in your stomach. Feeling full, bloated, or even losing your appetite. Have you noticed feeling full after just a few bites, or dealing with bloating that doesn't seem tied to what you ate? This uncomfortable heaviness in the belly can be another early sign of heart failure. When the heart weakens, fluid can build up in the abdomen, a condition called ascites. It puts pressure on your stomach and liver, making you feel stuffed even when you haven't eaten much. People often think they've just had indigestion or a sluggish stomach, but it's actually the heart struggling to keep blood flowing smoothly. The National Heart, Lung, and Blood Institute notes that abdominal swelling and loss of appetite are common in patients with early heart failure. If you're noticing this, try paying attention to whether your waistband feels tighter at night or if you lose interest in meals you used to enjoy. A food and symptom diary can be helpful for your doctor to see the pattern. This isn't just about comfort. If your body can't take in enough nutrition, it weakens even more. Protecting your appetite means protecting your strength. Next, let's look at another overlooked signal: developing a nagging cough or wheeze, especially when lying down. Have you ever gone to bed only to be kept awake by a nagging cough that just won't quit? For many people with early heart failure, this cough is dry, persistent, and often worse when lying flat. Some even describe a wheezing sound, almost like asthma, but inhalers don't bring relief. What's happening is that fluid begins to back up into the lungs when the heart isn't pumping strongly. That extra fluid irritates the airways and makes breathing more difficult at night. Research from the American Journal of Respiratory and Critical Care Medicine shows that this type of nighttime cough is a common warning sign of fluid overload linked to heart problems. If you've noticed coughing that doesn't improve with regular cold or allergy treatments, keep track of when it happens. Does it get worse when you lie down? Do you sleep better propped up? These details matter. A helpful step is to sleep with your head slightly elevated. But remember, that only eases the symptom. The real solution is getting your heart evaluated. Next, let's talk about another unusual sign: struggling to breathe comfortably when simply bending forward, like when tying your shoes. Have you ever bent down to tie your shoes or pick something up, only to feel short of breath within seconds? This surprising symptom even has a name: bendopnea. It's not about being out of shape. It's a direct signal that your heart is struggling to handle pressure changes when you lean forward. When you bend, blood shifts toward your chest. In a healthy heart, this is no problem. But with heart failure, the added pressure makes it harder for blood to move through the lungs, leading to quick breathlessness. A study in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology found that many patients with heart failure reported symptoms of bendopnea within 30 seconds of leaning forward. If this happens to you, pay attention. It may show up while tying shoes, gardening, or even reaching into a low cupboard. Keep track of how quickly it occurs and how long it takes to ease after you sit upright. It may feel like a small inconvenience, but it's actually a powerful early clue your heart is under stress. Now, let's move to one of the most common and exhausting warnings: persistent fatigue that lingers no matter how much rest you get. Do you feel tired all the time, even after a full night's sleep? Many people with early heart failure describe a deep fatigue that doesn't go away with rest. It's not just about getting older. It's the body signaling that the heart isn't pumping enough oxygen-rich blood to supply your muscles and organs. This constant lack of energy makes everyday tasks harder. Simple things like folding laundry, carrying groceries, or even taking a shower can leave you feeling drained. Studies in the Circulation Journal confirm that reduced exercise tolerance and chronic fatigue are among the earliest and most disabling symptoms of heart failure. Unlike normal tiredness, this exhaustion lingers. You may notice you can't walk as far as you used to, or that you need more breaks during the day. It often sneaks up slowly, making it easy to dismiss until it becomes overwhelming. If you're experiencing this, listen to your body. Keep track of how often you feel worn out and what activities trigger it. Share these notes with your doctor. They can reveal important patterns. Your strength and energy are vital for independence, and noticing these changes early can make a real difference. So now you've seen how heart failure often starts with small, quiet signs: a racing pulse, swollen ankles, restless nights, or even just feeling more tired than usual. These signals may be easy to brush off, but they are your body's way of asking for attention. The good news is that catching them early can make all the difference. With the right care, lifestyle changes, and support, many people continue to live full, independent lives. Your heart is worth